What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to go back into the origins of Jurassic World, the theme park Jurassic World, and how that resort on Isla Nublar eventually became a reality in the film universe. Now we all know that after the cataclysmic failure that was Jurassic Park's inspection tour, when that went south, John Hammond himself was not going to endorse the park, but InGen had become desperate by the time of The Lost World and decided to round up animals on Isla Sorna for usage on one of the other resorts that was nearing completion on the mainland. Still, there's a big chunk of story that's kind of been missing in between JP3 and Jurassic World. Mainly, what kind of mysterious and secret missions, harvest expeditions, and cloning experiments happened in order to make that park a reality. So after the events of Jurassic Park 3, believe it or not, we had only 4 years before Jurassic World would open to the public on Isla Nublar. In the lore, that theme park became operational pretty quickly once Masrani decided it necessary to make what was apparently John Hammond's dying wish a reality. Now, the actual building of Jurassic World and how they managed to make this a reality is something that is still relatively unknown. However, there was a movie in development, or at the very least some tie-in material that would have helped show us what was going down. At this point in the canon, both Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna are protected islands. They're restricted from public visitation and are under watch by the United States and Costa Rican governments. That didn't stop some people from sneaking on and getting killed, obviously, but it did manage to provide a little cover for the work InGen would do in making the Jurassic World park come to life. At one point in time, rumors were going around talking about how a movie would be made focusing on people taking the island back from the dinosaurs, which I'm going to assume would have led to a sequel with an operational theme park, and then a final movie where they get out in the real world. This never happened though, and instead we just got a big stretch of time that went undocumented. Still, that whole era is filled with cool stuff that would make excellent stories. For example, in the lore, Chaos Theorem did a great job at this. You can look all of it up. We know that Vic Hoskins, the villain of Jurassic World, actually captured the escaped Pteranodons that got away after the events of Jurassic Park 3. And even captured the Tyrannosaurus Rex on the island just 1 year later in 2002. And after the Rex was under control, the basic reclaiming of the island probably went rather smooth. Keep in mind, there were way less dinosaurs on Nublar when compared to Site B, which actually also became a haven for dinosaur harvesting once the park's construction was underway. One of the things that I think would make for a truly interesting and unique story within Jurassic Park's timeline will be the setting up of the island for public tourists. Because successful trips to Sorna in order to obtain things like stegosaurs, ankylosaurs, and even a certain female raptor that I've already done a whole video on before in the past. It's actually pretty cool for Claire Dearing's story. This sounds like fun little adventures in the series. Now, the problem with doing this though would be getting the tone and feel right, which I would just hope they take seriously when trying to bridge the gap between the films. Because one of the more mysterious elements of this untapped area in the timeline is just how all of this stuff went down in the first place. Dr. Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm would obviously be against any sort of revitalization of Jurassic Park, and this is well before Owen Grady would enter the timeline. Claire Dearing, believe it or not, was actually present on the island during the actual building of Jurassic World, although she was obviously way younger at the time of these events. One other thing to not forget happens to be a certain geneticist's involvement with InGen. At this point in the canon, Dr. Wu was known to have abandoned something on Isla Sorna that was a part of his ruffled feathers experiment, meaning the guy probably showed back up on Site B in between The Lost World and JP3 because it's been widely speculated that this was either animals like the 2001 variant of Velociraptor or the Spinosaurus, the later of which we know for a fact was a part of something called the amalgam testing from 1999. 2009, which was early R&D for the second iteration of Jurassic Park that the board was doing in secret on the island. I've got loads of videos on all that stuff that I've covered over the years. There is this, I'm not making this up, this is all canon stuff that the fans know about. But in short, Henry Wu was doing some kind of crazy stuff on the island and even Site B for years before the actual events of the fourth movie. And these are the kinds of things that I think would make for some seriously cool material in between the films, because people that don't pay attention to this stuff, they're like, well, it's not the movies, it's not canon. Wrong. Imagine making a movie about that stuff. It's the stuff fans actually care about. Even if we just base some of this research in the early days of Jurassic World on readily available material to the fans right now, there is a lot that could be canonized in a film, like a movie. And you could even take stuff that, you know, like has not been confirmed major canon, like old school hybrids, Ultimasaurus, explanations for the Jurassic Park 3 experiments inside of the embryonics building that we saw in the third film, or even an exploration as to how the Tyrannosaurs from Site B wound up in Biosyn Valley and Dominion. The time between JP3 and Jurassic World has a lot of lore that is well known to hardcore fans, but also cleverly hidden away, waiting for an actual explanation in a movie to be shown on screen. Site B personally is something that I find to be much more interesting when it comes to talking about the two islands though, because we've gotten so much of Nublar just in the last 10 years that I just think it's time to go back to the second island and really uncover those details in full. My best guess on how the harvest operations went down during this time period is that they may have resembled something similar to what was in Jurassic Park the arcade game from 2015. You know, little trips filled with danger and excitement to ready the dinosaurs for exhibit, which sounds a lot like the rumors for what that fourth movie would have been like during the early 2010s I was talking about. You know, it eventually was even tie-in stuff with toys that never really got released. That game, by the way, was in development before Colin Trevorrow hopped on board, so yeah, this would definitely be a cool starting place to see how the origins of Jurassic World may have been. But again, keep in mind, it all would have taken place a long time ago, from like 2002 to 2005, before the actual park was open anyways. This could also be where a lot of the information on Isla Sorna dinosaurs that we can see available in Jurassic World came from. The fourth film has little information things inside of the Innovation Center on Spinosaurus, the male Tyrannosaurus, and even the raptors from Jurassic Park 3. There's also Deinosuchus skeletons and DNA that was in the Jurassic World trilogy, and something not on Engine's list, so truth be told, this whole idea of exploring Jurassic Park's past sounds like it has so much potential that I think fans would love if they were to ever really do it properly. I'd still prefer the idea of starting off in between JP1 and The Lost World, because that's what resonates with, I think most people would. But yeah, this is also a great time to explore as well. In between JP3 and Jurassic World is a lot of stuff to talk about. Anyways, guys, those are all just my own thoughts and opinions on the canon that we know existing and why it would make for a super cool movie, because we haven't seen any of it. But what do you think would be cool as far as events or mysterious experiments, you know, going on in between the third and fourth Jurassic movies? What would be cool to show in like a new experience for fans? And would you like to see them explored? All this stuff on the big screen. I think it is time that we got some stuff that was actually dead centered on like just Jurassic Park experimentation, all the stuff going on. There's so much mysterious stuff in Jurassic Park 3 alone that I think would make for a fun film. But hey, whatever your own thoughts and opinions on all of this subject matter happen to be, I love to hear all about them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens and InGen executives, as well as all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. You've all helped my channel immensely, and I'm incredibly grateful for all of that support. Now I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video and hope that you enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you all consider subscribing. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.